This video is for people that are looking to get into house flipping on a more full-time basis. I flip houses, and as lucrative as it seems on social media, there's some things that go on behind the scenes that Instagram and Facebook and YouTube are just not going to tell you. And so today, the main thing I want to talk to you about is the importance of having an active income while you're flipping houses. So many people want to get into investing for passive income. Well, if all you want is passive income, first of all, house flipping is not the route that you need to take, because passive income by definition means that you're not doing any work and you're just receiving what they call mailbox money. House flipping is a lot of work. It's construction, it's real estate, it's managing crews, it's doing all these things, wearing lots of hats, and it's anything but passive. Now, it can be a very lucrative thing, but in my opinion, you need to keep an active income as long as possible, as long as you can stand it, until it just financially doesn't make sense for you to have another source of active income because it's slowing you down on your house flipping. And so I'm going to go into 5 different things that make me come to this conclusion for myself. Number 1, flips are unpredictable. When you get into these house flips, it never fails that there's going to be some kind of things that pop up that just weren't expected. A lot of times when you're buying flip houses, you're buying them as is, so the seller's not going to be doing any repairs, they're not going to be doing anything like that to the house before you buy it, which is why you're buying it to flip. You know that you're buying a house that's not in good condition, and you're going to come in and do the renovations. So whenever you start tearing into the walls, tearing into the floors, looking through the plumbing, it's inevitable that things are going to pop up that you just didn't foresee. And all of those things, like it or not, cost money. On top of that, a lot of times there can be delays depending on the weather, depending on the extent of the work you're doing, whether subcontractors are readily available. Time is money in these flips. A lot of times, unless you're just paying cash for these houses, you have holding costs with the lenders. So every month you're making an interest payment, and that can add up to thousands of dollars. And if you don't have that kind of money coming in to float these things that are unexpected, it can be very stressful, and it could also put you out of business really quick. Number 2 is, if you have an active income while you're flipping houses, it gives you more decision-making power. And what I mean by that is, you don't have to rush into buying another house. You don't have to rush into making a rash decision on what could be a bad deal. A lot of times we look at many houses that seem like a good deal, but the profit margins just aren't there, or there's just not enough meat on the bone, and we decide to pass. And that is because I have an active income that allows me to pay my bills and do other things, even if I'm not flipping a house right away. So if you don't have that active income, you've got to have that next house, you've got to have that next hit, or else you don't have any money coming in. So that's something to think about. Number 3 is lenders. Lenders are looking for financial stability when they're lending money. They want to know that you personally can cover the bills, can cover the note, even if things delay, even if the house sits on the market for many months. They want to know that you have the financial strength to sustain those low times, those long periods of times where maybe the house sits or there's delays or whatever. Number 4 is, if you're just getting into flips, a lot of times your first probably 5-10 flips are going to be a learning experience. You're going to make mistakes. Things are going to happen. You're going to probably lose money. We've made plenty of mistakes along the way. We've hired out subcontractors that didn't do the job that they were supposed to do, and then we've had to hire people to come in behind them to clean up their mess, and so you have to pay double the money. We've had things that just didn't turn out how we wanted them to, so we've gone back in and we've redone them. We've had times where I had one house where I was ready to put it on the market. We were about to take pictures, and this particular house was a really tall 2-story house with a really steep pitch roof. So I personally had never been on the roof. But we noticed that after a really hard rain that there was some water leakage going on, and had one of my guys go up, and sure enough, we needed a whole new roof on the house. Once we got up there, we realized that from the ground, from the road, it looked great, but once you actually got up there, it was a mess. And so we ended up having to pay, I think it was an extra like $7,500 for a new roof. Now, thankfully, I'm a licensed general contractor, so I get a lot of things done at cost. But if you're not a licensed contractor and you're having to hire out all these companies, you might have to pay even more money than that. So just remember that it's a learning experience and that there are going to be unforeseen costs. And so if you don't have money to float that, then you're going to be in big trouble. Another thing that I mentioned, this is not a point I really wanted to bring up, but another thing I mentioned is depending on the market, these houses can sit for a while. If it's a bad market, if you've got it priced high and the amount of buyers in that price point are not as much, you could get in trouble with those things sitting for a while. And if you don't have money, then there's not much you can do there. So just keep that in mind. And I think the last thing I want to say on that is that if you do have an active income, it's going to give you the ability to scale your flipping business much faster, because then you can take all the money that's coming in from your flips and you can just reinvest it straight back into the next flips. If you don't have an active income coming from somewhere else, you're going to have to take that money to pay for your daily living expenses, to pay your bills and everything else. And so you can't put as much money back into the business. And now I know there are creative ways to finance these things. You can use private lenders, you can use all this stuff, but just something to remember is none of that stuff's free. Private lenders are expecting a return. It might not be as much as a bank, but you're still going to have to pay a return to those guys. And another thing is, if you're just getting into this, a lot of private lenders, they want to see some experience first. They want to see that you know what you're doing before they're going to trust you with, $50,000, $100,000, whatever dollars of their money. Don't expect that to come right away. Just a thought is that you having that active income can allow you to scale much faster. These are just some thoughts I've had. I know my very first flip, to give you an example, it was a home run. I think I had the house for maybe 4 months from start to finish. When we put it on the market, it went under contract in 4 days, and we made just shy of $90,000 profit on that flip. So when I did my first one, I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to quit my job. I need to just start doing this. Like, this is so amazing. Like, I can make so much money doing this. And the sad truth is, you might have a couple home runs here and there, but they're not all going to be that way. So make the home runs the outliers when you're making your business plan. Don't plan on them to be home runs. Just protect yourself. Always plan for worst case. Don't plan for it to be a home run. But my advice personally, as someone who's been flipping houses for 4 years now, is keep your active income as long as you possibly can, because it will only set you up for better success in the future. If you like this, please like the video, subscribe, and I will be producing much more content like this. If you have anything specific you want to know about house flipping, put it in the comments, and I will be happy to cover whatever subject you want me to in future videos. Thank you and have a blessed day.